Hello, everybody. It's Chris Smith here, and I'm here with part 8 of my Playbill collections videos that I've been doing on and off for a while. People seem to like them. I guess it's sort of fun to look at playbills of shows that you haven't seen, and even shows that you have. And this collection starts with my visit to New York in December of 2005. I started with Cheetah Rivera's show, The Dancer's Life, and it was at the Gerald Schoenfeld Theater. And who doesn't love Cheetah Rivera? I mean, she is a legend in our time. So I started with the Thursday, December 15th, 2005 performance at 8 p.m. It was 50% off, only $51.25. Now, normally I don't like to go in December because it's so cold, but I thought, oh, it'll be fun going at Christmas time, seeing the sights of New York. It's very difficult because now that I live in California, even though I'm from the East Coast, sort of, West Virginia, is that the East Coast? It's on the East. It's my blood is just too thin. They say if you stay in warmer weather more, you don't do as well in cold weather. And what New York was very cold that winter, but Cheetah Rivera warmed me up. Not personally, but watching her from the show. Oh, and I must say, here's the playbill, and it was at the same time that the Producers movie was being released in theaters. It came out that December with Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane, and I saw it at the Ziegfeld Theater while I was there. Now here's the inside page. Now, if you look closely, it says it was written by Terrence McNally and that there were original songs by Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty, my favorite, or one of my favorite composing teams in musical theater. And here is the cast, Cheetah, and then everyone else in the ensemble. Look, there's Deirdre Goodwin, who was in a chorus line. Who else? Everybody. Leanna Ortiz played young Cheetah, according to the cast list. Now, I don't remember too much about this show. I know that it was thrilling to get to see Cheetah Rivera in person. Had I ever seen her in a show? I saw 9. She was in 9. After all these years, the memory starts to get a little foggy. Not because I'm so old, but because this was 2005, and 2020 was a hard year, y'all, as you know. So Cheetah Rivera. Now, I think in some performances, Dick Van Dyke was there. Didn't he go into the show for a little bit? I didn't have Dick Van Dyke. This was just Cheetah Rivera, which is plenty. She was wonderful. Next, I did something that I don't normally do. I went to stand in line early one morning to try and get standing room only tickets for a little show that was pretty much sold out. Monty Python's Spam-A-Lot was playing at the Sam S. Schubert Theater, and that year it was the hot ticket on the Broadway. In the middle of the playbill, they have a fake page of a show that says, Dick Odd Trianen Fall, Fins Ain't What They Used to Be, was the name of that show. But if you're patient, and it has musical numbers there, if you're patient and keep turning, then you'll find the actual Spam-A-Lot page. Now, the cast, I must say, was very impressive. David Hyde Pierce, Tim Curry, Hank Azaria, Christopher Sieber, Michael McGrath, Steve Rosen, Christian Borle, and Sara Ramirez. Here's the cast. Everybody was wonderful. And yes, I did stand. I don't normally stand for a show. But it was just exciting. The energy. Here's an ad for The Woman in White, which was playing at the time. The energy during a show like this and the producers, things like that, is very exciting whenever there's a hot ticket. And the cast was excellent. Oh, here's the oh, and it was cheap, maybe because it was standing room. It says $21.25, but you are not allowed to. There's like numbers at the back of the behind the last row, and you stand there, and you can't even lean on the little ledge, or someone will come and say, "Don't lean, you standing room trash." No, they don't say that. But that was very exciting. Oh, and then apparently I saw this Behind the Emerald Curtain tour. You go backstage at the theater. This was on Saturday, December 17th. It was an early morning thing I did. So it was at the Gershwin Theater, and they sort of take you backstage. Not really backstage, but just show you the costumes and things that they have on display at Wicked. So that was exciting. Then, that Saturday at 2 p.m., I hightailed it to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, starring Raul Esparza. It's Ian Fleming's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and it was playing at the Hilton Theater. I don't remember a whole lot about this show. Now remember, it was winter, it was very cold, and all things are falling out of the program. Truly Scrumptious was played by Julie Barnes at this performance. And Childcatcher was played by William Rial. Now, and they have his bio there. It's very unusual where you get a separate thing for a bio. At least, that I've found. The Childcatcher was this scary guy that would go around catching children, hence the name. And I remember it seems like children were crying whenever he would come. It had Raul Esparza, Aaron Dealey, Philip Bosco were in it. Mark Kudish and Jan Maxwell were also in the cast. Excellent cast. Chip Zien was in it. Kevin Cahoon. Yeah. Here's the cast. I always would go see things with Raul Esparza. I just love him. So, excellent show at the time. I mean, I don't listen to the CD, and it's not really in my regular repertoire right now. But it was enjoyable. Okay, now I saw that night, and I think this was the first time I saw it, Jersey Boys. Now that was the thrill, I think, of this trip. It was playing at the August Wilson Theater. It was really, and I was really up close. I was in Orchestra A1, so it was up close and sort of off to the side, I guess. But really good seats. I could see everything. It was like being at a rock concert. And I always loved the music of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. And this had the original cast in it. You had Christian Hoff and Daniel Reichert and John Lloyd Young and J. Robert Spencer. And look, Titus Burgess is in it. He's popped up in several shows that I've seen. So yeah, here's the ticket to that. That was the Saturday at 8 p.m. show. The next day, I went to the Minskoff Theater and saw Fiddler on the Roof. And this was when it had, I call this gay Fiddler on the Roof because it had Harvey Fierstein and Rosie O'Donnell as his wife. Also in the show were Stephen Lee Anderson. Oh, so many people. Nancy Opal was in it. Look, here's the cast. I was mostly there to see Harvey Fierstein and Rosie O'Donnell. I just love Rosie, you know. And it's autographed, and and Paul Anthony Stewart was in it. He was on Loving, and he was on Guiding Light. I think this is Rosie O'Donnell's signature, but you had to give your playbill to somebody, and then they would send it backstage, and then come out, and they were signed. So I don't know if this is the playbill that I had on my lap during the show, but... And of course, here's one of these things. It was a good show, but you know, Harvey Fierstein, he's not the classic Tevye. He's more like, is this the little girl I carried? Next I saw, and here's the ticket, in case you need to see my ticket. That night at 7 p.m. I saw Avenue Q. Now, you know, I had seen Avenue Q before. It's one of my favorite shows. And since I'd seen it before, it was okay to get it autographed on the front and not get an extra one because, you know, I like a pristine copy and then I like one that has autographs. This had some replacement people in it. It had Barrett Foa. You still had some of the original people. Jennifer Barnhart was still there. Howie Michael Smith was in the show. Though weren't he and Barrett Foe playing the same role? Well, I know I've seen them both at some, so I'll need to investigate that. Yeah, Barrett Foe played Princeton and Todd, and Howie Michael Smith was the ensemble at that point. Yeah, so always a fun show to see. Next, I saw The Odd Couple. Now, since I didn't get to see Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane in The Producers, because I went to the performance after they had left, so I wanted to see The Odd Couple. It's the Neil Simon play, not my favorite. But, you know, that was exciting. And it's a play. So, you know, I mean, I love plays, mind you, but it's more fun to see a musical sometimes. Brooks Atkinson Theater. It was Monday, December the 19th, my sister's birthday. 8 o'clock show. Oh, and at this point, a transit strike has broken out in the city. So you couldn't take subways and you couldn't take taxis. Can't remember if buses were running either. So, I mean, even going downtown was sort of a chore. Like, you couldn't go down to lower Manhattan unless you wanted to hoof it. So here's the cast. Not my favorite show. Brad Garrett was in it. Rob Bartlett, Olivia d'Abo, Peter Frechette. You know, Jessica Stone, Lee Wilkoff. Very good cast. Directed by Joe Mantello, everybody's favorite. So yeah, excellent cast. Not my favorite show in the world. Then, now this I did love. The Color Purple, the musical. It was at the Broadway Theater. Here's my ticket. I saw that on Tuesday night. It was very exciting. This was the 7 o'clock show. Remember, on Tuesdays, they would do those 7 o'clock shows. This was December 20th, 2005. And people would come for the 8 o'clock curtain, of course, and it had gone up at 7. This confuses people to no end, even to this day. So be careful when you buy your tickets, people. Well, whenever we're able to buy tickets again. Here it is. Color Purple. It had LaShawne's. It had Renee Elise Goldsberry from One Life to Live, and later Hamilton. Rent, all of that. Kingsley Leggs was in it. Excellent show. I can't say enough. Felicia P. Fields. Brandon Victor Dixon was in it. I can't say enough about The Color Purple. I've always thought that the music was amazing. It went places where the movie just didn't go. Here's the whole cast list. Yeah, so that was very enjoyable. And the poster is gorgeous. I was looking over there to see if I have it hanging, but I don't. Then I took a tour of theaters, like they would take us around and show us empty theaters and tell us some of the history of the Broadway. This was a 10 a.m. tour on the 21st. Like I said, there was the transit strike, so you couldn't really go anywhere. So I'm starting to get worried at this point because I'm leaving on Thursday. We're on Wednesday, December 21st. I'm in a tiny little hotel room. I don't even remember what the name of the hotel was, but it was like a closet. And the bathroom was a shared thing, so you went down the hall. There was a sink in the bathroom. And on my way to the Wednesday at 2 p.m. show of Woman in White at the Marquee Theater, before when I was getting ready, I slipped on the bedspread and almost crashed through the window of the hotel. I would have been killed. And maybe that would have been better because the Woman in White was not good. I'm sorry. But the artwork is beautiful. Now it had, here's that page. It had music by Andrew Lloyd Webber, lyrics by David Zippel, book by Charlotte Jones. One of the girls in it, and Michael Ball was in it as Count. Does that say Fosco? I can't even see without my glasses, and I can't see with them. This girl, Angela Christian, who was in it, her brother, I think, had interviewed or put in a resume to work at the mailroom that I was the supervisor of at CBS. I'm sorry I didn't hire him. Maybe I wasn't. They made me hire somebody else. I don't remember. If I had known his sister was a Broadway star, I certainly would have hired him. Look. And maybe that was before. That was before. Yeah. That was, I had no hiring power because this was in 2005. I was already gone from that job. So, but yeah, Maria Friedman was in it. Michael Ball. There's Angela Christian. I mean, the show used Ron Bomer was in it. The show used projections more than sets and stuff, and I don't know. It wasn't my favorite, and I was over this New York trip by then. Here's one of these that went with it. The ticket stub, yeah, between that tiny hotel room and then the bad weather. It was very cold and snowy. The transit strike. Oh, things were closed down because it was almost like the nowadays. Because of the transit strike, workers couldn't get into the city. So when I went to see the producers at the Ziegfeld Theater, some of the people who worked there couldn't get into work. Yeah, it was crazy. Okay, next I saw for my last show on that visit, Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, at the Eugene O'Neill Theater. I love this show. Didn't like this production. They played their own instruments, and I don't really like that usually. Patti LuPone, Michael Cerveris, excellent cast. Here's everybody. But the next day, when I left the city, I'm like, how am I going to get to the airport? You know, I wasn't thinking so much about Sweeney Todd at this point. I was thinking, how am I going to get to the airport? There's no buses. There's no subways. There's no taxis. Am I going to walk? And I think I took that one out of Newark, maybe. Here's that ticket. So I had to hire a gypsy cab. It was a very strange trip. The gypsy cab guy was like, what are you, I said, how much is it? He's like, how much do you got? So I gave him more than you would give a cab driver. But I just had to get to that airport. So yes, that was that trip and that little grouping of playbills. Thank you for watching, if you're still watching. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.